Let's remove this plastic cover from this package of wet wipes. Add a bit of hot glue and stick it onto the outlet. Now we have a cover for our outlet. This screw keeps falling down. We can wrap it with some plastic wrap in order to make our life a bit easier. Next, we'll make a handle that keeps our broom from falling apart. Cut off the bottom of a plastic bottle and pass a cord through the cap and tie a knot like so. Put the bottle around the end of the broom and shrink the plastic using a heat gun. Now screw on the cap. After some sweeping, we can hang it up when we're done. Our pliers are a little too small to unscrew this. But what about if we use the other side? Use a magnet to organize drill bits. Sawdust often gathers in our toolboxes. We can remove it by putting some masking tape with holes on the end of this vacuum to act as a filter. We don't seem to have the right tool to remove this bolt. If we can trace the shape of the bolt onto this bottle cap, we can use it to help us unscrew the bolt. Using a hammer on wood is going to leave indentations. We can add some hot glue to the end of this hammer to act as a cushion and to protect the wood from being damaged. Unscrewing this nut using pliers can be a little tricky. We can pass a zip tie around the handles to give us a consistent grip as we pass it over the vise. Using a normal sander to sand the inner edges of this piece isn't going to work. We can solve this problem with a little bit of ingenuity. Apply some double-sided tape and sandpaper to the jigsaw blade like so. Now we can sand using our jigsaw. Hanging up disposable gloves like this will keep our hands clean during painting. Need some DIY plastic tubes? Start by cutting a plastic bottle into strips. Now we can pass the strips through the small hole and melt them a bit with a heat gun. We can cut the strips to any size that we like. And even place them into drywall to create anchors for screws. This old label just isn't coming off. We can use this DIY paint scraper to do the job. Our next project is making a can of spray paint using this plastic bottle. We'll attach a bike tire valve to the top of this plastic bottle. Then we'll cut off the top of this spray paint can and remove the inner tube. Then we'll pass the tube through the bottle cap and apply hot glue to seal it. Now we can screw on the cap and attach the nozzle. Fill the bottle with paint and pump it with air. Now it sprays. Using pliers will damage this metal rod. We can prevent any scratches by applying some hot glue to the teeth of the pliers. We can't remove this bottle cap with our bare hands, but we can use this plastic bottle to help us. Melt the top and flatten it out like so. Now we can pop the cap right off. Our cables are always falling off the table when we need them most. Let's attach a comb to the edge of this table to hold all of our cords. You can use a credit card to smooth out this bead of caulk for a clean, professional look. It's always difficult to solder tiny wires. Let's make a little stand. Wrap a rubber band around the handles of one pair of pliers. Place the capacitor in the jaws. Wrap a rubber band around the second pair of pliers and use those pliers to hold up the first pair. Now we can comfortably solder. A quick way to easily sharpen pencils is just by using a sander. We can use this orbital sander paper to draw a few different sized circles, as you can see here. We want to tie this rope around this tree, but which knot should we use? We'll keep things simple and just tie an overhand loop. Start with a simple overhand knot and wrap the rope around the tree. Then use the loose end to follow the path of the overhand knot. Pull it tight, and now you have a secure knot.
Pulling out a nail can be difficult. Just one little trick will help correct the situation. Nothing is difficult with an electric screwdriver. Take out the screw halfway, change the mode, and insert it diagonally. Do you have a chip on your countertop? It's easy to hide with 2 wax crayons and a soldering iron. Just remove the excess with a knife. What ugly joints! This should not be allowed in your house. Add a small piece of baseboard and a completely different look. What should always be on hand for a real craftsman? Of course, a pencil. You can write down your brilliant thoughts with it. Some macro and nailing wouldn't hurt. Oh, those masks. Honestly, we're all very tired of them. Fortunately, you won't have to use masks for its intended purpose anymore. There is a better option. So it's not a bad alternative to rope or even a water filter. After using it, you can throw it away without regret. We also have an interesting way to use a lighter. You only need one piece of it. Carefully pull it out and drill it. Couple more seconds, and you get a great drill bit for grinding metal. Now let's go to pipes. It's easy to pierce them if you're not careful. You can avoid this with a small metal gasket. You cut it, notch it, and attach it like this. It will no longer be possible to drill holes in the wrong place. Let's try to lay flooring where the pipe is placed. It's not really that easy. One wrong move and the appearance of the room can be spoiled. But we know how to cut a perfect circle. A construction stapler is a great thing. By the way, you can use it for not its intended purpose, but for example, as a drift punch for metal. You will have to do a little upgrade, but trust me, it's worth it. What can you make with a small piece of plywood and a furniture dowel? I know, that's not an easy question. At first glance, nothing useful, but that's a misconception. Just little imagination and time allows you to create incredible things. For example, this educational game will appeal to any child, and all you need to do is a marking and small notches. Grind, take glue, and use it to fix a wooden dowel. Only the patient can cope with this work. Remove all the wooden burrs and sharp corners, so that no one gets hurt. That's it. All that's left is to add the most common rubber bands. This will keep the baby occupied for a long time, and it definitely won't get in the way of our work. In the meantime, we will cut a beautiful wooden log. It can be used as a leg for a small table. Careful, no sudden moves. You can pay dearly for them. Look, it turns out beautifully. It really can be quite a nice interior decoration. The last tip for today is a structure to hold a water bottle. Just add a couple of 3 wooden sticks to hold it in place. Check it out, that's impressive.